How's it going, you guys? So I've been a longtime fan of Asics GT-2000 series. I remember running back in the day in the GT-2140s. I can definitely say the newest version is a lot better looking than the GT-2140. It also feels a lot better too. So let's dive into my full review of the Asics GT-2000 V8. Let's start with the upper. The jacquard mesh allows for some room in the toes and is flexible enough to accommodate most feet, as well as not crinkling in the toes like some of the older GT-2000s did. Despite not doing anything too fancy with the upper, I felt that I didn't have to crank down the laces in order to get a good fit. It kept me locked in nicely. The heel counter also helped keep me locked in as well. I felt with the V6 I didn't have the best lockdown, but with the V8 it has been very secure without being intrusive. Alright, moving down to the midsole. I found some of the older GT-2000s to not have the smoothest ride, but I found this iteration to be closer to the Kayano and definitely my favorite GT-2000 in a really long time. I honestly found it hard to differentiate this model from the Kayano. The GT-2000 V8 felt a lot smoother from heel to toe and less clunky. Part of what helps with this smoother ride is the retooled midsole. The newest version has softer flight foam in both the heel and in the forefoot. Even though the heel is a bit firmer to help add support, it wasn't overly noticeable. So Asics have had the plastic piece that goes across the outsole and up into the midsole to prevent side-to-side rotation and support your foot when overpronating. While it isn't too noticeable, I still find it to be outdated and unnecessary. Brooks and Nike have made the move to guide rails, and I think that the least Asics could do is remove the plastic to add a tad bit more flexibility and a smoother ride overall to the shoe. And let's move to the outsole. Asics is known for its high abrasion rubber, and they have full coverage on this guy. It makes it very durable and adds to its workhorse ability as it can take a beating for a lot of miles. I have close to 200 miles on it so far, and there is pretty minimal wear. This year's GT-2000 adds more flex grooves within the outsole, which I found to help contribute to that smoother ride. Of course, any shoe with this much rubber is going to add some weight, but considering most people probably won't be doing speed work in these, I think it's almost worth it for the durability it adds. So the Asics GT-2000 V8 is one of my favorite GT-2000s in a really long time. Some of the models in the past have drove me towards going to the Kayano for the more premium features and the more plush cushion, but with this guy, I almost found it to be like Kayano from a couple years ago. The accommodating, more modern upper with that retooled and softer midsole, plus full coverage of rubber on the outsole, really makes this guy suitable for an everyday workhorse that you can just pound a ton of miles on and can hold up to your training. And while I did feel like the Trustix system was a little bit dated and they can approach that differently, it still is a nice and supportive shoe for those overpronators or people at the end of a long run. This helps prevent you from rolling in. Speaking of which, if you're a fan of the Asics Cumulus but you need some more support, you should try out the Asics GT-2000. Or, if you're tired of spending $160 for the high cushion Kayano, maybe try out the GT-2000 V8 and see if you can save yourself 40 bucks. I definitely see this year's version of the GT-2000 closing that gap towards its more expensive high cushioned Kayano brother. So that's it for this video, you guys. I have a ton more shoe videos coming up. Subscribe so you don't miss those, and as always, keep on running.